friends. Welcome to our Friday's Thought for the Day. Comes from the New River Methodist Circuit in North London. Today's thought is based on Jairus inviting Jesus into his house. The Mark Gospel chapter 5. I read from verse 22 to 24. And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue came, Jairus by name. And when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet and begged him, earnestly saying, My little daughter lies at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, that she may be healed, and she will live. So Jesus went with him, and a great multitude followed him. We remember this story as a miracle Jesus performed at Jairus' house. Jairus was a ruler of the synagogue. His colleagues didn't consider it appropriate for Jairus to invite Jesus into his house to heal his daughter. They would be shocked. He would be humiliated too for inviting someone who had no position in the Jewish ranking. What credential did Jesus have? Where had he gone to school? By what authority did he heal? Jairus couldn't answer to any of those. Jairus was a man in need because his daughter was at the point of death. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet and begged him earnestly, inviting Jesus, Come and lay your hands on her, that she may be healed, and she will live. At this point, Jairus was not worried over any of those. The only thing that was concerning to him was the health and well-being of his daughter. Let's just examine ourselves. Do we have just one pressing situation? Are you thinking about it and looking for ways to get out of it? Maybe some of us can relate personally to Jairus' despair. In Sri Lanka, there are several Buddhist legends. Here is one such legend. Centuries ago, in which a woman in grief over her dead child went to Buddha to plead that the child might be returned to life. Buddha sent her on an unusual mission, promising to minister to her need when she returned. She was to go and collect a bowl of peppers from all the families who had not experienced grief such as hers. Mystified, but desperate for help, she undertook the assignment. When evening came, the woman returned. Her bowl was still empty. But she was filled with understanding. No one is exempt. Everyone finds themselves in darkness sooner or later. There are times in all our lives when we too will have that soul-crushing feeling. We feel deeply something is wrong, and we couldn't figure it out, or how to get it out of our way. In an article written by Professor John Niemela, The Cross in the John Gospel referred to this kind of situation as the dark night of the soul. Jairus knew about that kind of darkness. He had come to see Jesus. He pleaded with the Master, My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live. Jairus, at his desperate situation, he had to do something. And what did he do? He returned to Jesus. He was truly a wise man. He came to Jesus and invited him to his house. The crowd that was with Jesus overheard their conversation and began to follow as well. But before they arrived at the house, some servant came with bad news. Your daughter is dead, they said. Why trouble the teacher any further? The night black terror struck Jairus when he heard the news. But Jesus placed his hand gently on Jairus' shoulder and said, "Do not fear, only believe." What a comforting words from Jesus to Jairus. When they arrived at Jairus' house, they found people weeping and wailing uncontrollably over the death of the little girl. Jesus asked them, "Why do you make a commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping." With that statement, the mourners began to laugh at Jesus. They began to mock him. Clearly, they didn't believe in Jesus' words. But Jesus was unmoved by their laughter. He went off alone with the girl and spoke word of life. "Little girl, get up." Can you hear those words? Say it with me. Little girl, get up. Those words were miracle-making words. Immediately, the girl got up and began walking around. Yes, Jesus performed a miracle. The people who had laughed and mocked Jesus just a few minutes before were amazed when they saw the girl moving about. They had never seen anything like this. The dead do not come back to life. Then Jesus told them to give the girl something to eat, signifying that everything was all right. Jesus gave Jairus and his family the gift of life restored. I sometimes wonder what kind of effect this miracle had on Jairus. I want to sum up from my personal journey. If God who raised Jesus from the dead is for us, who can be against us? We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Step out into the world in humble confidence. There is nothing about to happen that God has not foreseen, and no situation where Christ will not be there ahead of you, preparing a place and an opportunity for you. When those times of terror come, when it seems the light will never shine, and you have nowhere else to turn to, give yourself to Jesus like Jairus. You will discover, as did Jairus, that Christ will not let you